So I guess our first question is, what is a party Congress? From a U.S. perspective, we understand party conventions. We just had a State of the Union address. And there's some similarities between the two, but some obviously important differences. With the party Congress, you of course have the meetings themselves, pre-vetted topics for discussion, a lot of work that goes into them before they come together and meet. The delegates, some 3,000 to 5,000, they don't come together in a vacuum. A lot of this has been pre-vetted, predetermined, readouts from accomplishments over the past 5 years, discussion in the broad terms of challenges that North Korea's development plans have, and then looking forward, what priorities, what shortfalls will need to be pursued and improved upon. So you can see where it's part party convention, it's part State of the Union address in terms of the deliverable of the party Congress being the readouts. And we've gotten readouts on each of the opening days. We don't have the readout on the in-depth discussions on the WMD and foreign affairs areas, but we expect that in the coming few days. But at the end of the day, it's important to remember this is primarily a propaganda tool, both internally and externally, to motivate and invigorate and prioritize across all these areas, not necessarily to provide a detailed 5-year plan that we can, as an outsider or even inside North Korea, track progress against over the ensuing 5 years of the plan. Well, so far, some of the details by sectors, particularly the critical ones about which we would be interested, such as foreign policy, national defense, and munitions industry, have yet to be announced. What's been announced by North Korea has been the convening of the Congress, the coming together of the senior officials, some exhortations, applause for working hard the last 5 years, calls to work even harder for the coming 5 years, some language thrown about the 3 revolutions in ideology, technical domain, and in culture, and the need to continue to pursue those. But it's been nothing really surprising as of yet. There's been some key changes in personnel at the very senior levels. Those are probably as attributable to just aging and a desire to have a younger generation of leaders surrounding Kim Jong-un than it is necessarily any type of policy shift or ideological shift. When you look at North Korea from the outside, I think ever since China embarked on reform and opening under Deng Xiaoping in the late 1970s, there's been a desire to see this unfold in North Korea, under the assumption that there'd be more of a rationalization of its behavior, less of a commitment to its nuclear program, a willingness to integrate into the international community, to loosen internal controls, a little bit of liberalization, as China did back at that time, shifting from class struggle to economic development. We've been looking for that in North Korea for many years, and we just haven't seen it. And there's nothing in particular in this current Party Congress readouts so far that would suggest that is in the works. As we know, North Korea has not yet released the report that would cover the foreign policy, national defense, or munitions industry sectors that are of the greatest policy interest here in the United States and in South Korea, obviously, and elsewhere. I would bet, based upon past example, that there's not going to be a major departure from the policy lines that were laid out back at the end of 2019, when after a year and a half or so of engaging the United States in Singapore, Hanoi, and then in Panmunjom later on at the working level in Stockholm, that a declaration made at the end of 2019 from a party plenum, not from a party Congress, but nevertheless laying the groundwork for a protracted period of not engaging with the outside world, not engaging with countries uninterested in accepting North Korea in its nuclear weapons status, and not seeking denuclearization dialogue toward the goal of sanctions relief. And since then, North Korea has been cold to now 3 consecutive U.S. leaders. Donald Trump term 1, the last year or so of his term, and then 4 years of Joe Biden, and now a year of Donald Trump's second term. I would imagine that there will not be any radical change in that orientation toward the United States, but the degree to which Kim Jong-un would want to use this as an opportunity to hint that the door may be open to additional dialogue is something that we should be looking for. No immediate breakthrough, but nevertheless not closing the door as much as he has with Lee Jae-myung. Now it's been several months now for the Lee Jae-myung administration to lay out its North Korea policy. Now Kim Jong-un has had an opportunity to watch the President Lee Jae-myung and his actions, conciliatory actions ranging from shutting down balloon launches, pamphlet launches, broadcasts, and even curtailing, shifting the timing of military exercises, all to reduce tensions with North Korea. This would be an opportunity for Kim to signal some willingness to move forward with ROK. I just don't know that that's in the works. On Russia, we should be seeing some acknowledgement of progress made in the relationship over the past few years and some hints at continued close cooperation going forward. China, probably not so much. I don't think Kim will aggressively criticize China, but I don't see the Party Congress as the opportunity to initiate some new policy line towards China. This is a difficult question because it will start with a review of progress made across multiple systems as a result of the Eighth Party Congress directions on key areas such as missiles, trying to pursue a 15,000 kilometer range ICBM, short-range ballistic missiles, solid fuel missiles, submarine launch missiles, hypersonic glide vehicles, a range of projects that, thanks to their listing in the Eighth Party Congress readout 5 years ago, experts in this field have been watching progress in each of those. And with North Korea, there's always an element of truth-based exaggeration. In other words, we look at systems that North Korea claims it's pursuing. Some of them look more aspirational than not, but ultimately we see North Korea taking actions to push and develop them. Hypersonic glide vehicle comes to mind. And the claims made in progress are always challengeable by experts out there in the field who look at areas of these capabilities that were demonstrated during launches or testing in areas where they're not fully demonstrated. So there can be differences of opinion in terms of the systems that North Korea has pursued, what type of progress would be made, and how much of those systems that development will be pushed into a new 5-year plan under the Ninth Party Congress. We should, again, see something on that within the next few days, and will give greater clarity. I think the addition will be on the conventional side. So while we look at all these capabilities that fall within the WMD side, and these various ground and sea-based capabilities, one thing that North Korea has been highlighting ever since the resumed relations with Russia, though not directly attributing these developments to the relationship with Russia, is this revolution or these advancements on the conventional side. And these are areas that should be of particular concern, because when you look at these WMD capabilities, what immediately comes to mind is the limited use that each of them has within the vacuum of maybe having a weaker than desired Korean People's Army conventional force. But as the KPA begins to restore its capabilities, particularly in air defense, maritime domains, the options for provocations, the options for coercion, the options for even revisionist actions expand just as importantly as the WMD capabilities themselves. So we'll need to watch both going forward for the next 5 years. I don't know how much insight we gain from the Ninth Party Congress, but I can be pretty confident that Kim Joo-ae continues to be Kim Jong-un's daughter, and Kim Yo-jong continues to be Kim Jong-un's sister. And both of them, with their respective areas of influence within the North Korean system, have that power, had that influence because of those family ties. It was probably premature to assume that the Ninth Party Congress would advance the succession issue at all, that there's no such thing as designated successor, actually, that you would have a ceremony or an announcement. Just the way that Kim Joo-ae is portrayed in DPRK media shows that she is to be seen by the North Korean people as the right-hand woman, as the extension of her father. I expect Kim Joo-ae, if she's 13 to 14 now, will continue to receive training. The North Korean people will continue to see her in important events, and they will be conditioned to see her as a natural, legitimacy flow of the Paektusan bloodline from her father, grandfather, and great-grandfather through to her. And we'll see more on the succession in the coming months. Again, the big question is, why is Kim Jong-un doing it? Is there a health issue? Is he rushing it? And nothing else that we see in terms of watching Kim and his actions and maneuvers would suggest that's the case. Kim Yo-jong got a promotion from deputy department director to full department director. Probably people are speculating in the realm of some foreign policy related area or maybe propaganda agitation department. We don't know. What we know is she has an important role. I don't think that she's necessarily been placed in this position as preparatory move for some imminent sudden opening or pursuit of dialogue, either with the United States or with the Republic of Korea. I imagine that will be the speculation going forward, but there's just not a lot we know.